decades, humanity has reported encounters with the unknown. Lights in the sky, craft beyond our understanding, and programs hidden in the shadows. Now, the truth may finally be emerging. This is the Uncovering Anomalies Podcast.
All right, another week and another new episode of the Uncovering Anomalies Podcast.
Yeah,
welcome, everyone.
I love that beat to the intro.
Yeah,
like
the intro, man. Every time we start an episode, I get so amped up after watching that intro. It's great. You did great work.
Nice, thank you. You helped out a lot with that one. It's we can. I was thinking about, and this is just off topic a little bit. I was thinking about we can use that tool I used for like your investigations for visuals. You know, when you're describing something or going through something, we can have that as visuals going through. I mean, very similar to what you said about video essays, but it'll be like on the show, you know, for visuals.
I think that'd be really helpful, actually. Yeah, especially if we are, you know, reading from an article or whatever, and it's just instead of having our listeners or viewers have to stare at the wall of words that we're already reading, you know, we can have a visual component. It would take a little bit of extra legwork before each show, but that's definitely something we could experiment with. I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, and I can use your articles as the basis for it. I mean, you can say like, here, do a visual for this part or this paragraph, you know, and then I can come up with something and then we can present it. So yeah, it'll take a little bit more legwork, but it's doable.
For sure. That's exciting. So everyone, thank you for joining us. That is I Have a Need to Know Adam.
Hey, everybody.
And I am Go for Topher.
Go for Topher.
Go for Topher.
I'm going for Topher.
Today is an exciting episode. We're covering some updates. Hopefully you all are aware that disclosure has officially begun.
I'm sure they have heard. It's absolutely everywhere.
I got a text from my mom saying, "Oh my God, they're talking about UAPs on Fox News." Even I go, "Well, I know they're releasing the files."
Yeah, right. And they're a propaganda arm for the Trump administration, so they have to cheerlead it. That's their job. But Fox News has always actually been interested in this subject, right? It's one of those. It's one of the early ones because Tucker was doing it when he was on there. Caputo's always been doing it. Who's the other guy? There
was that talk show guy who was on the radio, my dad's radio in the mornings every single day. I can't remember his name, but we actually covered him not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago, where he was talking about the elites come from Mars and stuff like that.
Yes. Oh God, why am I forgetting his name? He was huge.
Rush Limbaugh.
Limbaugh. There you go. Yeah.
Rush
Limbaugh. Rush.
Yeah.
Hey, so what episode is this?
You know, I purposely skipped it because I don't know. I think it's 165. I'm not.
No, very close. It's 163.
163. Well, there you have it.
And today's Mother's Day, so happy Mother's Day.
Today is Mother's Day
to all those beautiful mothers out there, especially the ones listening to the show.
Yes,
thank you.
And I did call my mom. Like, we're not the first thing I did this morning, but it was pretty early. Called her and said hi and wished her happy Mother's Day.
It was pretty close to first priority.
Yeah, you know, I had to wake up and I had to take care of the mascotas that live with me here.
Mascotas,
Spanish for pets.
No, I like that. That's a cooler word, actually.
Yeah,
mascotas.
It totally is. But man, they are a handful sometimes. Oh, and listeners, if you do hear barking or noises in my background, I apologize. I'm going to try and keep the baby under wraps here, but she is a handful.
We get it. That's what happens when you record a live show.
Yes.
But you know, we're going to get into not just what happened with disclosure, but the events leading up to disclosure. There was a huge frenzy in the evangelical Christian world, and understandably so, right? If this, I mean, at the time it was imminent that it was coming out, and they're like, holy crap, you know, they don't know what's going to be coming out. Only rumors were circulating. So of course they need to get a handle on the narrative, a handle on the perspective, especially from a Christian perspective, to explain to their followers. So of course they would do that. It's not surprising, but it's good to just listen and watch their reactions to it. I'm glad they're getting ahead of it. Yes, there's that whole demonic element of it, which you shouldn't dismiss or throw out, but it shouldn't be a focus either. Right. So it'd be nice that, because in all scriptures it all shows there are different non-human intelligence in there. It's not just humans, angels, demons, right? Not just in Christianity, but other scriptures as well. So I think it's important to get that perspective on it if we are going to, I guess, progress safely and without being too emotional about the subject. It's a huge universe, and we can't just restrict, I guess, our thoughts or our perspective to like a very limited view if we want to understand this.
Exactly. And unfortunately, some of the more hardline Christians, have been preaching this whole thing. Man was made in the image of God, and there's only one God, and mankind was the only sentient being in the universe and stuff like that. That's an exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying. And so when we have this huge paradigm shift coming out, it is important for them to get in front of that, because there are a number of people who can't view other life outside of human life, other intelligent life, I mean, as something that fits into their worldview. So it is important to get in front of this thing.
And it will be shocking to anybody, even someone who's open-minded and quote unquote grounded. If you meet another intelligence, even if it looks humanoid, it's going to have some differences, different cognitive powers, different culture and civilization. It's still going to feel weird. I wonder if it felt the same way when we found the New World, right? And we started meeting these tribes, but still they're very similar. Even if they're, from a perspective of the Europeans back then, even if they're, what's the word? I don't want to say uncivilized, because they were very civilized, just in a different way. Even though they're in a different time, right, than the Europeans coming in, it was still familiar, right? It was tribes, hunters, gatherers,
Right. They could, despite them going, oh, their skin color is different, therefore they are inferior, they could see, in fact, that they were humans, I think.
Right.
There's probably a few of the crazier ones out there who didn't think that the Native Americans were, in fact, human. But you get what I'm saying. They're human enough where it's not just like this giant, shaken to our core kind of deal.
Right. I mean, imagine seeing an insectoid or a reptilian. I mean, if those things are real, like that is. Yes, and imagine staring into the eyes of one of those things, and trying to have a conversation. I mean, I don't know. Can we?
Yeah, you're not supposed to do that.
Oh, you're not supposed to look in the eyes.
Don't look in the eyes.
Yeah, especially the grays. They just sit there and stare.
Yeah, because they got nothing behind there. They're just little robots.
Yes, and so let's get into this. We can see. Yeah, let's start with the reaction from the Christian community. I won't say Catholics, because Catholics have been way ahead of this.
I had a friend,
I would say decades ahead of this. I remember when I was researching this in the 90s or early 2000s, the Catholic Church there was always someone from the Catholic Church who was doing an interview or was being interviewed for an article, and they were way more open-minded. And they used to say, we'll baptize. I think the Pope even said, not this one, but the previous one said that he's open to baptizing an alien, right? Because we're all fallen, even they're fallen or something.
The Catholic Church is oddly progressive in some ways, and obviously not in others. But they've never hidden away from UFOs or aliens, for that matter, as far as I know.
No, they haven't. And it might be because they have a longer history and evidence. Yes, exactly.
We got to get in that. We got to get in that vault under the Vatican.
Dude, imagine if they do disclosure next, because if they are seriously doing this on a weekly basis, which they're saying they are, after this first tranche, there's going to be another tranche, and it gets more fantastical with each one. Maybe at some point the Vatican will be like, all right, here's ours. I mean,
you guys want to try on the chronovisor? Be the first, first in line for that one.
Yeah, charge $1,000 per entrance, or more.
Yeah,
Who knows? It's a good way to raise
sounds
money.
about right. Probably be a lot more.
All right, so here's a pastor, Perry Stone from perrystone.org. Please bear in mind that this is a few days before the files dropped.
That sent me a text message. I was in a meeting, a weekend meeting, preaching Friday, Saturday, and Sunday morning. And he said, Perry, can you give me a call? I have some information that has come to my attention. Of course, when a friend of yours does that you know quite well, you have no idea what information they're talking about. And I'm not going to go into great detail, but there were a large number of pastors that had been invited to go to a certain state to hear some men in the United States government and others share with them a concern that they had. And this particular man, and I'll not name him, and then we may end up doing some teachings with him or having an event at his church. He has a great church. But he said, Perry, what they're about to release, from what we're hearing, there's going to be a release concerning aliens and concerning unidentified flying object spacecraft, that some of the people who were in the meeting were telling us as pastors, you need to prepare your people and you need to get ready to answer them for what you're about to hear being released. And some of it has to do with crafts that have been discovered that are not allegedly a part of our planet, and the materials they're made of are not a part of our planet. Very strange reptilian-looking creatures and other things that almost sound like something out of a sci-fi movie or an Orson Welles book.
Dating himself a little bit there.
Yeah, exactly.
I had a friend.
But I guess they're going to be releasing reptilians as well. I mean, unless they're saying the Greys are kind of reptilians.
I keep going back and forth in my head. I've been pretty vocal about my negative feelings on the government and not really believing a word they say when it comes to disclosure. I think, I still kind of think this way, that it's going to be a lot of just odd videos, lights in the sky, maybe some close-ups of crafts, maybe, but it'll mostly be like that. The IR footage of UFOs that we've played on this show countless times.
Just
now.
Lights and nothing definitive,
nothing concrete. And the part I keep getting stuck in my head is, are they going to release alien bodies? Because that would be, to me, the ultimate disclosure.
Yeah,
they can show as much lights in the sky,
Right.
IR footage, like that's fine, whatever. I could pull it up on YouTube and have been for years now. That's nothing to me.
Right, because you're a researcher.
It's cool. I recognize that it's cool that it's being released by the government. That's definitely a step in the right direction, but ultimately it doesn't mean a whole lot. But if they start releasing things like, here's the body of a reptilian, here's some Greys we've captured and tried to interrogate before their heads exploded or something weird like that, that would completely change the ballgame for me.
Yeah, and we were talking offline. I've been reading all the documents, and it's cool because it's historical, right? I think 99 or 98% of what was released has already been out there, has already been declassified, right? By researchers, by the UFO community that was always suing the governments for FOIA and all that stuff. So it's decades, but this might be just an initiation of the population. If you are a government, you basically manage society. Right. So if you are going to do disclosure, to me, it makes sense that you do this first. If people are interested, can go in and just read the whole historical record. I'm not saying everything's in there, but I've read a lot of the documents, and it is transparent. It's cool to see the different agencies talking to each other about this. So I feel like this is like an initiation, and we are run by Masons, and they've all gone through these secret societies, and that's how it works. There's initiation. You get a background, of what the organization is about, its history, its philosophy. And then when you move up the ladder, you get more and more information. Scientology is like that.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I think most religions are like, they're not going to tell you the secrets of the religion unless you are studied under somebody, right? Who,
Yeah, that's true.
then, yeah. And once you're ready, you can go. I mean, the Sufis are like that as well. You can't just go in and start learning their secrets. So hopefully that's that. I'm being hopeful, right? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That because nothing in this first tranche says anything really that's like, oh yes, they're here and we have crafts and we're reverse engineering them. That narrative is not coming out from this disclosure.
Probably not. At least not for a while. I mean, I don't know if they'd be allowed to come out and say, yes, we've had this technology since the 50s and we've been reverse engineering it all this time. I don't, I think would be too much of a ruckus.
Yeah, at least not for this first week, right? Who knows?
Of course not. No.
It might be in the 8th week or something.
Man, I don't know. I'd be hard pressed to see someone signing off and being like, letting the whole world know where the government gets their power from. I don't think they'd be super big on releasing that portion.
Right, and Trump's going to have to push it. I mean, Grush came out also saying that he has noticed that there are agencies that are blocking information coming out. So it's going to be a fight. But if someone's going to do it, it's going to be Trump, right?
It's just crazy enough. Yeah.
Yeah, he is. All right, so this is another pastor. Here's a quick video.
Fellow pastors are invited to come to a private meeting with a group of men who are connected with the intelligence world that are believers, but are still have very high security clearance. These are legit, true men of God that are still connected to Washington and even this current administration and all branches of military. And they literally told us, we had a sitting congressman, a very well-known congressman from Missouri. He called into that meeting as well. That was just for pastors. And this is what he said. On speakerphone, this sitting powerful member of Congress said, "Are the pastors listening to me?" I'm getting chills right now because this happened to me. He said, "Are the pastors in the room listening to me?" And I said, "Yes, sir, we are here." And he said, "Listen to me. Go and tell the church they are not ready for what is coming. The narrative that is coming, what they are going to say is going to be like nothing you can even imagine. They are preparing to tell us that they are from another dimension, that they are our creator, and that these beings, these aliens, or whatever you want to call them, they were the ones that seeded us here. There is no such thing as God. Jesus was invented by them. The Bible was invented by them." And begin to just say, listen, prepare the people for what is coming because they're not ready. But he loved us so much. He made sure that he told us exactly the blueprint to study. He said, study the days of Noah. And if you can understand how Noah responded, that's how you're going to have to respond. And I believe what God is doing in the body of Christ right now.
Yeah, they're definitely preparing.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that because those type of stories about the pastors were coming out, like you said, up until the release, and here we are, week 1 of the release, and it's like you said, it's still early, but nothing so far that indicates that that's what's going on. Also, I have to wonder. So are these beings from other dimensions just like chilling and they're going, oh, we'll wait until the U.S. president says it's okay and then we'll announce ourselves?
I mean, I don't know. It might have to do with how consciousness works too. If more people are aware of it, then they just show up more. Actually,
that could be. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, there was something I saw in the documents from the DOD in the 50s that was saying basically that in a way. That people are just noticing it more, and that's where you guys are getting more calls. We need to stop all these calls. It was like cluttering their intelligence gathering. It was just all UFOs at some point in the late 40s and early 50s, and they wanted to stop it. I think, and so there might be a truth to that. Maybe that's why they keep it so secret. Is that if more people are aware, then they're always looking, and then maybe they show up more. I don't know, something like that.
No, that's an interesting. I'd watch a movie about that. That does seem very sci-fi movie-ish. I mean, maybe, and then you can tie in actual. That's why Spielberg's releasing his movie. All of this is going on. It's so we can finally flood people with enough consciousness information about UFOs and aliens that they can actually finally start showing up without a problem. Because it does. We've touched on this before, and it's something I believe in, that humans are half the phenomenon when it comes to UAPs and UFOs. And so if you you need some sort of tether to tie you into this reality. It would make sense to go about doing it this way, right? So I think you're onto something there, or they're onto something there. Who knows?
Yeah, and then we have with quantum physics, the observer effect, right? The observer can collapse the wave function or whatever, So, and that's based on the person's perceptions and beliefs. So if these things are like kind of interdimensional or there's a very thin layer between both, if people are more aware of it, then it maybe starts to show itself more.
Yeah.
The whole we create our own reality thing. Right.
We're gonna find out Scientology is the real deal here really soon. Sounds like.
Yeah, man. There's
something. I'm just teasing.
Yeah, and it's weird too that all those guys, the remote viewers, a lot of them were Scientologists.
Are they really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, or at least we're in there for a bit. Like Hal Puthoff, he's a Scientologist. McMonagle, I think, is a Scientologist. Who's the other? Was it another? No, sorry, not McMonagle. The really good remote viewer. I'm forgetting his name now.
I know who you're talking about.
He saw the Rings of Jupiter.
Yeah. He's got a goofy name.
Yes, very hard name. Yeah, he was a Scientologist. All right, so this is Kevin Zadai. Is his well-known. They're interdimensional. Now, the whole interdimensional thing. If you are going to traverse space, if you're an HI species and you are going to traverse space, you have to do it through dimensions. You can't use the physics of this 3D reality. You have to go around it. And so even if they're just creatures like us and have a different physics, they're going to look like they're interdimensional because they're going to pop in and pop out because that's what you need to use to traverse these just immense distances.
Right, because space is, modern fiction has made space seem small and easily traversable, but it's not. I mean, the distances you have to go, and technically the speed limit is the speed of light, right? And even that will take hundreds and thousands of years to get places.
Yes, that's just in our Milky Way galaxy. It will take that long. Yeah. All right, so let's see what these guys say.
They actually look more human with reptilian skin, but humanoid. They're hybrids. They mixed it in a lab. Come on now. Okay, so it's not from another planet. And they don't even look like you think they look. So who's in charge of that? So this is the things that I've never talked about before. I probably never will again, but thank you for coming. But this is the thing that we're dealing with. We're dealing with the book of Revelation. These things are going to come out of the earth. They didn't come on spaceships. These are interdimensional beings. And those who have enough sodium pentothal in their system, when I ask them, will tell me the truth, no matter what agency they work for. They will tell me the truth, and that is they're interdimensional. They're not coming from far away. They're coming from below your house.
Wait a sec. I got stuck there for a minute. Sodium, is he talking about kidnapping government people and interrogating them?
No, I guess he's got contacts in the government that are telling him this.
Because he's I'll inject them with sodium pentothal or whatever he said, and they'll tell me the truth. And I was like, wait, what? What?
Wait, I missed that.
Yeah, did you? That's what he said.
I totally missed that. Wait a minute. Because I was thinking about, I'm like, oh yeah, the whole interdimensional thing, but maybe it's here. Is it here? Or is it?
Honestly, I couldn't. Maybe go back just halfway and play. It's only a minute long clip anyway, so.
That's crazy.
These are interdimensional beings. And those who have enough sodium pentothal in their system, when I ask them, will tell me.
What?
What is he doing? Who's he referring to there?
What is he talking about?
I don't know. That's why I was listening. I was going, wait, what?
I guess it was so fantastic. It went over my head. That is nuts, dude. He's if they have enough sodium. When I ask them, and he's obviously joking. He's obviously joking.
I get it. Interesting. Anyway.
Yeah. Someone should clip that. Clip that, AI.
Yeah,
sodium pentothal in their system, when I ask them, will tell me the truth, no matter what agency they work for.
Good catch,
They will
Topher.
tell me the truth, and that is they're interdimensional. They're not coming from far away. They're coming from below your house.
Yeah, they're under your bed, everyone. You got reptilians under your bed.
Got to make sure that the demon narrative is first and forefront, front and
center.
Front and center. There you
go. But good catch on that, dude. That'd be a hilarious clip. Like, yeah, is he like kidnapping?
Yeah, I was like, wait,
federal
what?
agents?
That's what it sounded like. I was like, wait a minute, who is this guy?
So, and then these guys also were in that meeting, supposedly. He's making the rounds. Red Panda did a Space with him.
Yeah, that's close.
Yeah.
SpaceX and X Space.
Yeah, interesting how Musk does that, huh?
Yeah, I know, right?
So yeah, the whole interdimensional thing, again, he's just limiting it just so it goes, it's Book of Revelations. And I mean, let's not forget, like, a lot of these books have been even suppressed. So, like, to just focus on just one. Right. Like, a lot of them were like left out for whatever reasons, political reasons, or because of this subject.
Book of Enoch, for example.
Yeah, exactly. The Book of Enoch. I was listening to an audiobook yesterday on that, and just there's just so much in our history that points to other beings. And why is it so crazy if they were trying to, like, even the story of Prometheus, they were trying to advance human beings, by giving them whatever lessons in fire or other technologies or languages, mathematics, science. Mm-hmm. The Sumerians said that. The Egyptians said that. The South Americans had their white god that came to them and taught them also technology and mathematics. Yep. So,
and don't forget how Prometheus ended. We sent an AI robot to talk to the creators, and it really pissed the creators off. So what did we do? We started building AI.
Yes,
brilliant.
Yeah, brilliant. And AI does tie into this. It just does, because the technological world we live in was seeded or influenced by these gifts, and we've talked about this on the show for a long time. By these crashes or by these gifts. So we are here based on science and information we've gained from this subject. All right, so these three were at that meeting. Let's hear what they have to say.
Yes, thank you, Bishop Allen. And Tony, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me. I was here till about midnight last night at the studio. My son woke me up at 3 o'clock this morning. I've been up since, so I should have just stayed here all night.
Well, there's so many things going on. We, the three of us, and a few others, just a handful of people, were pulled into a meeting, and we really got data and information that not all of it can we talk about because there's an investigation going on higher ranks of issues. And so we'll talk about the things that we can and should talk about, but we're going to give a lot today. And so what I'd like to do is Bishop Allen, if you could just start with us, my friend, and just begin to talk about what you're understanding and some of the takeaways you have. And then Tony, I'd like you to respond to that. Let's begin.
Well, I've got to say this was one of the most unusual meetings I've ever been a part of, where the three of us, along with maybe three others, it seems like a half a dozen people were gathered in an Airbnb in the mountains of Tennessee, discussing an investigation that's going on in the United States government against crimes they have committed in the process of retrieving and reverse engineering technology from non-human intelligence. The meeting also went forward to discuss the propaganda plan that was in place leading up to disclosure. And so it was interesting that as we were preparing for this meeting, I think, Tony, was it 2 weeks before we actually had the meeting, you reached out to us and said something about this. Yes. As we were getting ready, the urgency of the meeting was there's about to be disclosure. We need to have a conversation with key ministers who have a big reach and a big influence so that the body of Christ is not unprepared and is knocked back on their heels when this information comes out. So the interesting thing about the timing of this meeting is, as we were gathering, we saw Obama come out, we saw Trump come out, and then we saw more statements that we're going to talk about here in the future. So that's kind of the gist of the meeting. There was a lot that we'll talk about and unpack here in this conversation. But it was truly one of the most unusual meetings I've ever been a part of.
It really was. Tony, you really were part of the catalyst to get us going in some of these spaces. Can you give us a summary?
Yeah, so you're welcome for having the most unusual meeting you've ever had.
We blame Tony.
Hey, blame the podcaster. So, so long story short, I came in contact with these guys more than a year ago now, and I've been in touch with them, communicating with them, and their heart is to prepare the body of Christ for what's coming. These guys are part of, let's just say, they're Christians in intelligence operations, and they are specifically geared towards trying to. Initially it was to gather evidence and data on what's actually going on behind the scenes within the disclosure community. And that's made of many different camps. And they have gathered a lot of data. And I remember when I was introduced to them, I got some phone numbers, and we set up a phone call. And I think there was 3 guys on the call, including myself before. And we spent probably about 2 hours on a call discussing what they've come up with and what they believe to be going on with disclosure.
But this is going to
what they come up with. So it's basically the Collins elites, right? He's saying that it's Christians.
That's what it sounds like.
Within the government. And then this is a continuation of that.
Are you still there?
Oh yeah. Oh wait, never mind. Here.
That was some of the piece that we really took away from it. They're being lied to, and they believe it. So imagine this. The government's being lied to, and they're believing the lie. And now they, believing a lie, are about to announce what they believe to the population.
Yeah, it was every 10 pieces of information they get from these entities. There's one really massive lie, and there are 9 really amazing truths that are helping the government. And so they're just swallowing it all.
Yeah.
And so there's going to be well-intentioned, good-hearted people, and AI plays a role in this, by the way.
Oh, come on, Alan, help us with that.
So bubbling in up to the surface in the middle of all this is this idea of artificial intelligence and the sentience. We were even told that there are many in the government who believe they actually have an AI program that they believe is sentient,
a main one,
and they use it to make a lot of government decisions.
They do.
Within the executive branch.
That's what we heard.
And that's been going on actually for a long, long time, long before we were talking about AI. But what's going to happen is AI will be pitched as this omniscient mind that's going to help us understand these entities and these beings.
Man.
So we can trust what it says.
Wow.
That seems super dangerous.
Yes, it does. And I mean, who knows? I mean, I don't know who's telling these guys these things, but it's obviously someone in the intelligence community that
obviously.
Yeah. So it's good what he said. He said, like, there's apparently these beings are telling the IC this or told the government this, and that he's saying that there's a huge lie and then many truths, right? Basically saying demons. That's what demons do.
Right. It's the trickster stuff. Yeah,
the trickster stuff, which is, again, has been in this subject for a while. Jack Valet talks about it. Carl Jung, right, talks about the whole trickster thing. So many people. Keel, right? Keel did that as well. Yeah.
Oh man, if you guys haven't read, oh shoot,
Mothman
Prophecies. Yeah.
Mothman Prophecies. The Eighth Tower, that's a great one too. I think he wrote that
also
in the 70s.
Yeah. Man, is it you want to talk about trickster stuff and stuff that just it makes no sense, and it's great. It's really good.
Yeah, and that ties to that place in Utah,
Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, again, there's a lot of trickster stuff there that makes no sense. Like, what? Okay, nice.
It doesn't make any sense. A lot of these. So we covered last week. We talked about the Exeter incident. Yeah, and one thing that I made a joke about it, but it's in the same vein where the main witness to the Exeter event is looking at this UFO, and he feels it see him, and he dives into a ditch, and then the UFO just goes, okay, I'll go back to scanning these houses. Like
Right.
that's just trickster, like weird alien stuff, man. Like there's no explanation for it. None of it makes any sense, and that's kind of the point.
Right. Yeah. It's really bizarre and strange. So he's that same guy. I forget his name, but he's the one who did an X Space as well. We'll see some clips from him.
Every believer, every Christian that we possibly can. This year, there is coming a massive disclosure. The truth, as the government knows it, about UFOs and UAPs is going to be disclosed to the population. The Trump administration is going to attempt to make history in an historic announcement where they're going to say that these non-terrestrial interdimensional beings are real and that we do have unexplained phenomenon among us. This is going to be huge. Many so-called Christians are going to be taken captive by it. We have got to speak on this first. They need to hear it from us first. They need to hear from us what the Bible has to say about it. This is an urgent call to every pastor and church leader, including the ones who mocked me when I released this book and said I'd gone off the deep end. Of course, they didn't read the book. They didn't know what I said about it. It's time for every single pastor to teach on this. What does the Bible say about non-human entities?
Yeah, buy my book. My book.
Yeah, I was gonna let that slide because I knew it was coming. But also at the very top, he puts it in an interesting way, and I don't think he meant to. He said the government is going to tell us the truth as they know it. Which means if they're just repeating whatever they're being told by these supposed interdimensional beings, why are they the arbiters of truth? Why are they telling us the truth?
Right, exactly.
Why are they telling the government the truth?
Mm-hmm.
And because we don't know what the alien agenda is.
We don't.
That's the reason why this podcast and every other podcast about this exists, because no one knows the alien agenda.
Right, exactly. No one knows what they're up to. They're obviously part of the secrecy apparatus you can see with Men in Black and people talking about them walking the halls in Washington. And so
stranger at the Pentagon.
Yeah, there's that element of this as well. And with Jack Valet talking about the control aspect of this to keep humanity, whatever, just constantly chasing something that's not there.
Right.
Yeah. So it is definitely more nuanced. He is going the demonic way. Again, I wouldn't. Yeah, it's not something you should throw out, obviously. But demonic could just mean they have a different agenda than you. So it might. I mean, humans call other humans demonic all the time just because they don't understand their their civilization or their society.
I think a big part of this, especially for the pastors, is by making them demonic or demons, it makes the pastors still needed.
Yes.
And still in the spotlight. And unfortunately that's human nature, right?
Yeah, it is. He doesn't want to lose his flock.
Right.
Yeah.
No matter what it is, no matter what kind of power or money one person gets, it always corrupts, almost always.
Yeah, it doesn't. Everyone protects their groups, right? Everyone wants to keep their audience, and you can see people like Nick Fuentes do this a lot, where he always goes after someone like Candace or people who are actually doing good in their own work. He's always attacking them because I think he wants to keep his own followers with him, and that he's the best. And so it's kind of similar to that. This guy's doing the same
and
thing.
especially for these kind of people, they have to make themselves like the counterculture. Like, oh, I'm the only one telling you the truth. Right. Those other guys are CIA plants and all this other stuff. So you have to listen to me.
Good point. Yeah, I am interested in his book though. He had something about AI in there. I mean, still interested in his perspective.
Now you have noticed that the language has changed in these Department of Defense meetings as well as in these congressional hearings. They're no longer saying extraterrestrial. They're saying non-human entities. Are there non-human entities in the Bible who attempt to influence mankind? The answer to the question is yes. Are there non-human entities who use mechanisms of transport of some kind in order to travel? And the answer to that is yes. Elijah, his servant's eyes were open and he saw of the host of heaven and their chariots, thousands of them. Elijah was taken up in a chariot of fire. Well, why do they need a chariot? What's the purpose of a chariot? Couldn't they just grab him, take him up there? I don't know. All I know is the Bible says that it's there.
Good point. Good point. Yeah. I mean, but that doesn't mean it's demonic. If they're taking him, then those, who took him? Those were angelic beings that took him, right? If that happened, he wasn't being abducted by demons. If they were taking him to quote unquote God,
right? But again, I think it's, why are we trusting what the aliens tell us? If they come down from their interdimensional craft, their chariots of fire, and they say, we're taking you to God, a religious person's gonna be like, oh, these must be angels. Oh, we are going to go see God and all this other stuff. But why are we trusting that? And then to go further down the demonic path, isn't that exactly what a demon would do? A trickster demon would do, is pretend to be an angel and take you to see God.
For sure. I mean, they might have knowledge of our lores and myths before even like, interacting with us, like any intelligence agency would do, like a human intelligence agency. You infiltrate, you understand what buttons to push. We even do that today,
we do
with quote unquote terrorists, right? And we infiltrate and then we control them, and because we're pushing these buttons that work, so yeah, it might be something very similar, and it might be a way for them to say, see, we've been here forever controlling your society, so we've come back to take over the earth. That's rightfully ours, or whatever.
To bring up your point about infiltrating terrorist groups, it's really not all that different. You infiltrate a bunch of angry people, you tell them to bomb something, they do it, and then you arrest them, and then you get to justify your budget.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Happens all the time.
It happens all the time.
Yeah. How come I can't see this guy's name's not anywhere? Is it here? Is it in the post? No one even mentions his name, although he's everywhere. Okay.
Recently just had a clandestine meeting in the middle of the woods, Airbnb in the middle of nowhere, Tennessee.
Yep.
And it was a very serious meeting. I mean, we're not having this conversation today just because we're trying to find something to talk about.
Yep.
This was some information that filled in some spaces, filled in some holes with people who know what they're talking about. We had to turn our phones on airplane mode.
We did.
This was a very, I don't want to say confidential, very confidential meeting.
It was.
So we're going to be in a veiled way, because there's some things we can't disclose.
That's right.
That we're going to be sharing some things that we learned in the last 24 hours. So
First of all, we were approached because of both of our programs.
Yes.
And some of the prophetic things I've shared, and the reams of information you've put out over the several years. They are gearing us up for the great deception that I believe what they're going to release is going to so fit the narrative. They're going to say Jesus was a spirit, enlightened being that came down, however they frame it with their terminology. He came down and he was one of these star people. And they're going to go down this whole avenue, and they're going to try to lay over scripture all of their narrative, which is really demonic in origin. Can you share some of that?
Yeah, and they're not going to be defamatory. They're not going to attack Christianity. They're going to say, you're close.
You're close.
You're close. Here's what actually happened.
Come on. Yeah,
here's what really happened. And I've written about this, I believe, in Summoning the Demon, but for decades. For a very
you
long
have the
time.
other book. What is it? Antichrist?
Yeah, AI, Aliens, and the Antichrist.
Yeah, that book is awesome. We're seeing three things. I'm just going to go here and just try to write this out, because I believe that we've actually been, in some ways, vindicated of things we've talked about. So when we're talking about the alien, UFO, whatever, okay, so let's just call this UFOs. Number one, tech, and the data Alan and I just received, I think the stat was something around 95%, or the UFOs we see is high-level tech. Alan, do you want to comment on that at all?
Yeah, they mentioned most of what we're seeing are either technology from the United States government or adversarial governments that are making incursions in United States airspace. Now, a lot of that tech, that 95%, is reverse engineered tech.
Yes.
That's being used.
And they began to share things. We actually saw images of creatures.
Yeah.
And that was startling.
Yeah.
Number two, and Alan, you are so versed on this. Number two, blue beam, and I'll let you explain it.
Yes. In order to bring everyone under a one world religion, one world government, there is a plan for this. The globalists, the elites have a plan. And their plan is, number one, there'll be some sort of catastrophic event. It could be an earthquake. It could be a tsunami that will uncover some documents that will show the Bible isn't entirely
true,
I know
and that
it.
we bring it all under one word religion.
They say is like 5% of what's actually going on out there. But the real is where we start getting into the fallen angel narrative.
Crazy. I'm glad they're talking about this though.
Yeah.
I would still still have an open mind. I mean, you guys don't have the truth, right? So it's great that they're investigating this, but I think they still need to have an open mind, right? I mean, when he said like, "Oh, you were close, but this is the truth." I mean, still be open to it. They might they have information you don't, and decades of information that you don't. So
one thing that stood out to me, and it kind of gives me, I don't know if I truly believe this, but I want to float that idea because we are a conspiracy podcast. That the pastors are being lied to, especially the fact that he had to open up and say, "Oh, it was a super secret meeting. We had to turn off our phones." And then what are all these guys doing? Going on podcasts and videos and blabbing to the world
Talking
about
about
everything that happened during this super secret meeting. So it's like, okay, well, something isn't right here, you know? So again, though, we can speculate all day long about what all of this, you know, the alien agenda, Project Bluebeam, the Bible, you know, the lessons learned. I don't know. None of us do. None of these guys
we
don't
don't.
know. We don't
We
know.
don't.
The government doesn't know. But to your point, Adam, I think listeners, it's important to be open, be trusting, but don't automatically believe everything that's said to you.
Right. And there's been this I guess narrative out there for a long time that Jesus, you know, if the Virgin Mary had an immaculate birth, it's very similar to abductees that get abducted and didn't have sex with their husbands or whatever and then got pregnant, you know. It's very similar to that, where you know, someone gets pregnant without having sex, and then in the modern age we've seen it with the abduction phenomenon. You know, people have linked that then back to Jesus. So, you know, that's what they're saying, that it's not. But who knows what the war, you know, there might be a war that we don't even understand. Something to and it might go back to what we just said, where they understand our lore, like say like the Greys came in during the Pharisees, right? And they created their Judaism and had and have their books. They wrote these things down, so maybe they understood these stories and they know there was a Messiah there. Maybe they forced a Messiah, you know.
We could be looking at a Dune situation. You know, the Jenny Bezrick created these myths and legends like hundreds of years in advance so they could take power later on.
Yes,
that's legitimately what the Dune books are about, people. Sorry for the spoilers.
Right, and exactly, it's the power of prophecy, right? Which we see all the time. So this is okay. So this guy's name is Joseph Z. So here he talks about the meeting that he was in, the private meeting that they were in, the Airbnb meeting.
Yes, the super secret private.
Yes,
meeting
that everyone's talking about.
Recently, my team and I were traveling, and we had an encounter with something that we've never experienced before. And now when I talked about this just recently, many people in our comments feed and through our live broadcast began to ask us to bring it out and show you what we encountered. Now, what we encountered was 6 objects in the sky out in front of the aircraft. We were flying from Tennessee to Colorado Springs, and we began to see 6 objects right there in the sky. And we believe these are UAPs and UFOs. So when we saw this, we just thought to ourselves, my goodness, what in the world are we looking at? How do we grapple with this? It was a very interesting thing. Now, uniquely enough, we were just in a disclosure meeting 2 days before this, talking about UFOs, UAPs, all these things, and that there's going to come a great disclosure, even an announcement that we're not alone in the universe. We're not alone. And there's non-human intelligence that is absolutely happening all over, or in the highest offices of the land, or they know about it, that kind of thing. And so when we heard this, I thought, my goodness, this is quite the disclosure meeting. And they were prepping us to be leaders in the space from a biblical perspective, to bring people to the saving knowledge of Jesus and help the church avoid deception and not knowing what to do if they encounter these kind of things. So what we did As we received that information, we began to talk about it. The next day, the president puts out a post that says he has authorized the specific agencies involved to find the truth of the matter of aliens, UFOs, UAPs, and all these issues and bring them out to the public. The day after that, we were traveling. This would be February 20th, 2026. We're flying. And as we were flying, we began to see these 6 UFOs appear out in front of us. Now, I've talked to a lot of people about this, and I'm about to show you the footage. But I've talked to a lot of people about it, and some said, well, that's probably just drones over the nation. Others have said, and some of the ones I spoke with are actually some of the highest experts in the area of UFOs, UAPs, non-human intelligence, and the like. And when I spoke with them, they said, well, it could be drones, but it also really could be this other scenario that many people are talking about. And it could.
It goes back to our thing where if you become conscious of it, they just start showing up, right? So he's saying after that meeting, it's because they're thinking of it and looking out of the window and trying to see them, and then they show up.
It's true. I mean, Stephen Greer has diversified part of his career into this. He takes you out in the desert and you pray to see a UFO, and lo and behold, one shows up.
Yeah, we should do that once we're rich, of course, because
I think that would be a really good experience for our listeners if we went out and did Stephen Greer's thing and gave our honest thoughts on it.
Maybe he can give us a discount.
Yeah, maybe
like a 50% discount.
Yeah, is it like a couple $1,000 to go do
yes,
that?
I think it's $5,000 or something.
Good Lord.
All right, so we're getting closer to the end of the pastor's thing. This guy was in the meeting. We saw him. Yeah. So I like his perspective. So let's take a listen here.
I find out that he is part of a private group of Christian intelligence operators. And I say that very specifically and as pure as possible. He is not government. He is not part of an intelligence agency, not NSA, CIA, none of the alphabets. As far as I know, he is part of a private group of Christian intelligence operators. They are operating privately on intelligence with disclosure. Their goal was to gather intel and data. And again, this is my understanding. Their goal is to gather intel and data on what this disclosure stuff is. I don't know what their opinions were of it when they first started the operation, but as they started gathering intel and data and rubbing shoulders with a lot of people, I am like bottom of the totem pole type person. That's why maybe I feel so weird about that. I don't feel qualified to be the person talking about this. They gathered a lot of intel, and they came to believe that what is happening is deeply spiritual. What people are experiencing is deeply spiritual, and that what the majority of the experiences are when it comes to, let's just say for generic surface level terminology, abductions, alien abductions, is demonic in nature. And there's an element of this UAP phenomenon and entity phenomenon that is fueled by fallen angels and fallen angel technology. There are a lot of opinions that I come to the table with on that, and my opinions may not match their opinions totally. Their opinions may not match mine totally. This connection was not to get anybody to believe in a certain narrative. It was to raise awareness amongst Christian leaders, and I would say I am now one of those, that disclosure and the reality of it is happening through their data, through their intel. And this is not anything that's top secret, confidential, classified. This is all open source stuff that they have gone through, rubbed shoulders with people, gathered information from people, and came to these kind of conclusions. But the whole point was to prepare Christian leaders on the reality that it's not a game. It started in 2017, the disclosure movement, And it's not a game. There's a lot of pastors in this world today, in this country, that laugh at it, scoff at it, think it's ridiculous. This is not a game. Pastors need to understand that there is a coming time very soon. If you just look at your news, what happened yesterday with Kash Patel and him saying he has the disclosure documents ready to release or something like that, it is happening very soon. And pastors need to be very aware of this so that when whatever information comes out as to this disclosure, there will be a narrative spun. I believe there will be a narrative spun. Let me say it that way. I believe there will be a narrative spun. They have strong opinions and feelings that whatever comes out could possibly be part of a great deception talked about in Matthew 24, 2 Thessalonians. And their desire was to get pastors understanding the significant weight of the matter so that they can turn around and be personally prepared to lead their congregation through a very stark spiritual season of our culture.
Well, you can't blame them for getting ready for this, but it does sound like it's the Collins elite.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, if this is truly what the pastors are being told, they're doing the right thing then, right? If they are getting people prepared, they're doing what they think they should be doing. I don't think they're doing anything wrong. I just don't think they're being told the truth.
Right, exactly. I mean, that's what everyone has to have their guards up for so many psyops coming out, because everyone's going to want to grab this narrative because it's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's always been a powerful narrative, which is why it's been so secret, because it can be used. Anyone can use it for their own ends.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. And I mean, I've always said they might just end up, who always hijacks the narrative, and who wants the one world government and stuff like that. It's so far it's Israel as of now.
Oh, don't give it the answer so easy. I was just gonna say they always seem to be at the bottom of every single conspiracy for good reason.
Right. Yeah. And the greater Israel, third temple is what they want and need. So just be careful about that narrative that gets spun somehow.
Yeah,
somehow.
Because guaranteed it will be.
Right. And that's why I think they're saying the whole interdimensional thing and not real aliens or entities from other planets or older civilizations, is because it kind of negates the whole chosenness thing, right? And yeah, that's my opinion.
Well, and like I was telling you over text a couple of days ago, if there's a message that comes out from the other side, from the interdimensional being saying, "We're your God, we created you, and this specific group of people you should be your chosen leaders." Okay, that's when you get off the train, because that's not the real story that's being told here.
Right. Yeah. So that might be coming soon after all this. Who knows? It might be the finale too.
Yeah, very well could be.
This is L.A. Mazzulli. He's famous. He's a commenter. He's been in this space for a while. So he's talking about the deception.
Mm-hmm.
This is the coming great deception.
Yeah.
This will change everything. Because when they show up, they will tell us, we seeded all life on this planet. We genetically manipulated early man. We started the world's civilizations. We started the world's religions. Now at this critical juncture, a nuke going off. And what's going on in Iran right now? Tony,
yeah.
Anything's possible.
Yeah.
These guys are like a tiger back into a corner. Do they have nukes? We've heard they have no nukes. We've heard they have 11 nukes.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard they have 8 nukes, but there's no delivery system. You don't know what the truth is. Nobody does. All it takes is one nuke going off. And this sets up the greatest climate of fear that humanity has ever experienced collectively, because we're all linked together with the internet, right? And satellites all around us. That's when they show up. That's conjecture. That's the final rung. Pray to God we don't have that scenario. But what happens if on the 78th year of the Roswell event, July 8th, what if Trump stands up and goes, "We're not alone in the universe"?
Yeah.
Bam, game changer. Where's the church? Will the men please come forward and receive the morning offering? We're like, 30 years behind. It's very sad.
Yeah, the church, I 100% agree that there's a lot of churches that are not ready to deal with this. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One of them is that we have really devoided ourselves from any kind of supernatural understanding.
Oh, completely.
It's just
sanitized.
Yeah. And so when you wipe that from your theology, your teachings, actually handing that down to the people attending your church and stuff, when this happens, and this information comes out and they say, we're not alone in the universe. As a Christian, your response should be, no duh. like scriptures shows that when they talk about NHI and these Christians that are going to be confused, they're like, oh, what do we do with this NHI thing? No duh. Scripture talks about that. But without the proper framework, it's going to lead to a lot of confusion. And I think that there's people like you and maybe even myself with our platforms that hopefully can serve as a landing spot for education, I suppose, like understanding, that, listen, I'm definitely not like a theologian on here telling you exactly how all the Hebrew and Greek breaks down.
Yeah, and that's not what we're supposed to be doing.
No, it's not my calling. But, what I've done is I've documented that there's a lot of strange things that people have been experiencing for a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
If you can come to understand that, you're going to start having a framework for this.
Yeah, good point. I mean,
yeah, I think that's really nicely said. I think that's a very healthy way to approach it.
And so I would say the spiritual element is definitely part of it. It's not the entire thing, right? They might exploit that for the reasons that we just said.
Yeah, definitely.
But again, everyone needs to have an open mind. There are truths in all of our scripture and all people's mythologies, and there's a reason for them. And we weren't always this advanced, this educated as a species. So I guess it makes sense that it's coming out now. It's time. It's time for it. The empire is almost coming to an end.
I do find it interesting that there's all this talk about spirituality and stuff like that, when for the longest time, the people who have been abducted by aliens, let's say, or the people who have studied the alien agenda always seem to come to the same conclusion, that the aliens either don't have a soul or don't understand spirituality at all.
Right.
So it's interesting that there's this big emphasis now on spirituality, and I'm not complaining. I'm a pretty spiritual guy myself, but I do find it interesting that there's so much religion or religion coded stuff packed into the disclosure that's going on now.
Yeah, I mean, probably because there's something special about us. That's always been in the lore as well, that they are interested in, right? Whether we've been called containers of what? Our souls. When they look at hybrids, there's always human DNA in there. Even the Greys, I think there's human DNA in there. So there's something about our genome that probably connects to source or something. So some intelligence that wants to make hybrids always includes that genome in some way. It might make you sentient. I don't know. Who knows what the reason is? Even with Bigfoot and the research of that guy, the guy, the 411 guy.
I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his name.
Greek name. But when they found like a strand of hair of Bigfoot and they analyzed it, it was half human, and then the other half they didn't know what it was. So again, it's like when whoever's making these humanoids or bipedals always uses the human genome. Not saying just us, which we have a lot of, or maybe we're kept pure for a reason, and maybe that's why ignorant of the entire agenda, so they can always have this pure genetic, you know what I mean, of humans that they can use for whatever purpose, for whatever purposes. So, well, yeah, and that's why
we need you all to teach us how to make mac and cheese.
Bacon cheeseburgers.
Oh, that sounds good right now.
I love him. So I placed this here because Grush, it's cool. The administration is using him. I love that they're using him. He's advising them on this. He's like their bulldog, right? In the administration, because he understands the mechanisms. He will call out things. This is a great interview. Very long. This specific clip is him saying that it's premature to say that it's demonic, but he says a lot of great stuff in this interview. So I do recommend people listening to it. It's Justice Watch. They're a FOIA company. Oh wait, it doesn't show here. It's UAP James, but I think it's Justice Watch that's interviewing him.
In the news, you're seeing a lot of that talk about demons and other things like that. The Vice President Vance has mentioned that. My friend Tucker Carlson has also said that too. and I've had private conversations with him about that. And I do want to address that really quickly, both as an intel officer, a guy who studied physics, a practicing Roman Catholic like Secretary Rubio and Vice President Vance. I respect those views of spirituality and demonic deception, and I think we should be concerned about that. But I think it's theologically premature without knowing everything, equating everything to demons, because God has created this wonderful, visible and invisible order. He's created humans, animals, angels, and other types of non-human intelligence. And I don't think us as humans, we understand all of God's creation to kind of use a theological kind of framework on that. And I think that everybody needs to keep that in mind, to be respectful of that. And the Catholic Church certainly has a long history in this. And there are Catholic theologians like the late Dr. Paul Thigpen, Dr. Diana Pasulka at University of North Carolina, Dr. Brent Robinson at Notre Dame. They've provided a lot of that analysis and theological interpretation on how people can view this. So I see that as a big impasse, certainly because of the commentary that I'm hearing about that kind of thing. It's very dangerous language, and I think we need to be more thoughtful about that. And I'm just happy I'm able to plug that for a little bit, because I don't hear many advocates on the disclosure movement side really addressing that. I think it's a very dangerous mindset to be in if you preconceive all this as some sort of malevolence.
Yeah, exactly. Man, he's got great takes, because he really understands the phenomenon. He was on the inside. He was NRO. He see things we would never see. He's the one that went and investigated it on behalf of the Congress. They gave him all that power. He interviewed all the witnesses, and so he has a really unique perspective on this. And he's saying that it's premature to just say it's demonic. And
absolutely. And
then I like his perspective on theology of this. That this is a huge, just the visible universe. It's infinite, right? With the James Webb Telescope and all of our sensors out there, I mean, it's unfathomably huge. To sit there and just say that it's all for us is I don't know if that's totally true. It wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, I highly doubt we can apply manifest destiny to taking the entire universe.
Right? Yeah. Could you imagine that? It's all ours.
Yeah. What a sick way to live.
And and it might answer that question. Well, how come they all kind of look like us? Like they have two arms. Well, because that's what this 3D realm, that is the best way to be sentient, right?
Right.
It's an order, and it's not really up to us. I think that's why they all look like us, but a little bit different.
Right. But the humanoid.
Yeah, the human. It's the best way to be a sentient being.
Right.
In the 3D realm. Yeah.
There's a name for that theory that I'm blanking on. Of course, this is the podcast after all. What would the Uncovering Anomalies podcast be without us failing to remember names of people, places, or things?
I know, we need like AI assistants.
Yeah.
To just write it out in a message.
Say this, you idiot.
Exactly. This is from Kosher, great account on X. This is Jack Valet on News Nation. Now, Jack Valet is saying, don't discount the demonic elements.
Yeah.
And he's been at this, the guy's like 90. I think he's been at this since the 60s, right?
Yeah, he has been around for a very long time, but for good reason. Jacques Vallée has brought a lot of the woo-woo stuff, to the research, which I'm a huge fan of. So
yeah, and exactly, like we're half the phenomenon kind of thing, and it filters down through the observer, the whole control mechanism where these things show up, to control society. Like when we were testing nukes, they all showed up to scare us, maybe for us to stop testing nukes. So it's never like a full confrontation. It's something to steer society.
Right.
Is what Valet has researched and put out there. So he's on News Nation here talking about the whole demonic element of the phenomenon.
It is a fact that many people, but probably more within the Navy, or my own experience than the Air Force or the Army. In those that I met, have a religious concern. Okay? It may surprise you, given the fact that I've written very little about that, but I tend to share that concern. I think we should take it into account. I respect it profoundly. That has stopped me from, publishing certain things that I want to think about, and I want to think about in, privacy of, trying to put some of these long-term ideas together. Even though I'm not a practicing Christian, but I have
can I explore this a bit?
Respect for
I want to take you down that path, Jacques, because this is very interesting, and I'm glad you've started talking about that, because you say in your book, there's a quote, "The phenomenon is hurting people. It is manifest and scary." You use the word evil. And what we've called interference, you say, is very real. And then you go on to say, as much as I thought the Collins elite, which is the term that you use for the people inside the Pentagon and the intelligence community who are blocking this, normally of a strong religious belief system, as much as I thought the Collins elite was wrong in its fundamentalist attitude, I wouldn't blame anybody for talking about demonology here. That's a really interesting comment, because I have to admit, I've recently been speaking, sir, to people who've been telling me that when they've had confronting and quite terrifying experiences with the phenomenon, and I'm not in the least bit religious myself, but they've invoked the name of Jesus Christ or Mother Mary and invoked that to try and tell the phenomenon to leave them alone and go away. And in every case, they've said it's left, that it has respected that invocation of the name of Jesus or Mother Mary. Do you think it's possible the Christians are right?
Well, I don't think all Christians adhere to this. I think it's one sort of formal interpretation of the writings. Most Christians I meet, are open to. After all, if that's a question that has gone on for ages. If we stop looking at what the evil side is doing, we're in fact turning the world over to them. I mean, so it would be like saying we're no longer going to investigate murders. I think we should know as much as we can, and I think that's the view certainly of many Catholics. We should know as much as we can about the evil side, if we accept that there is an evil side that's active, that's actually impinging on what we think, what we do.
There's a lovely quotation you have in your book where you say, Collins' elite members believe that no one should be interested in anything that comes from Satan. I say, you say, if we're about to do battle with Satan, we might as well learn everything we can about his toys. And I like that quote, because, I mean, it is a silly argument that because it involves the possibility of demonology, allegedly, we should ignore it. I mean, you're quite right. Even if it's evil, even if it's something malevolent, we should know about it.
Wow, so interesting. So they were talking about the Collins elite. He's basically saying that the Collins elite tell us we need to ignore this, not study it, because it's evil, it's from Satan, and it'll start the apocalypse. And Jacques Vallée is saying, no, we need to understand it if it really is infringing on our society and steering society or whatever, we need to understand what it's doing.
Yeah, of course. You don't want to bury your head in the sand.
Yeah.
I mean, that's such
Right.
that's what kind of, and anyone with 2 brain cells knows that. So when
Right.
we talk about the Collins elite saying, no, we can't touch this because it's satanic, or whatever, they're hiding it because they're benefiting from it somehow, is my opinion.
Yeah, exactly. It was just a reason to bury it, and a reason not to look at it. So, there's always been a war going on. Well, the war really got heightened with nuclear power and bombs, and that's when it really started. When they started really infringing on us, like to stop. And there's many theories of that nuclear bombs probably messes with their realm, does something to the fabric of reality, does something where it might open portals as well, so the experiment is not very pure. Right. Who knows? Something like that. And so they might not really be demonic, but their control of us or to retain the control of us might be perceived as demonic, but not from their perspective, whatever their agenda is, right?
Yeah. But see, to me, I think it'd be less scary if they were demonic, because we'd know what their intentions are. That means if they're demonic, that means their intentions are evil. Okay, piece of cake. We can identify that and fight against it. If they have no concept of good and evil or concept of killing or death, they just kind of do things willy-nilly without a second thought. That's scarier. It's like a drunk toddler with a handgun. You never know what you're gonna get. Also, don't give your drunk toddlers handguns, people. It's bad.
No, or cigarettes.
Or cigarettes. They can drink. They just can't be smoking that young.
They can drink. Burchett was on Rogan.
He was. Lots of good clips came from this.
Yeah, it was a cool interview. He's obviously not trusting the government. What's going on? This is right before.
Ironic, since he works for the government.
Isn't that weird?
No, it's not. It means he's probably had people trying to get at him for a very long time since he's been working as a congressman.
Yeah, he's one of the good ones. His perspectives on Iran and stuff are retarded, but when it comes to a lot of other stuff, he's really good on. He was against the kill switch in cars.
He does seem
for Doge. Like he's good for a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be loath to call any politician a good politician, but he's up there.
Right.
Yes. He seems legit.
Yeah, he's a handful of, he's really trying to look out for the American people.
Yeah, and I'll give him the benefit of the doubt until he, flip-flops like they all end up doing at some point.
Yeah. So he was on Rogan here. He's not trusting disclosure.
Thank you for having me, brothers. Big honor.
Thank you. An honor for me too. Very excited about this. Very excited to talk to you. There's so many different things to discuss. So do you know what is going to be released? So supposedly this is the week of some kind of disclosure. Can you give us any insight as to what's going on?
Oddly enough, I got a call that tomorrow at 3:00, I'm going to be briefed over the phone by, I think one of Headseth's top dogs is going to go over some stuff with me that they've got. And I have no earthly idea. I don't want everybody to get their hopes up. I don't have a lot of faith in our government. President Trump's always been great to me. He's never lied to me, but I don't know that he knows the right questions to ask and the right people to talk to, because this thing's been covered up at least since 1947. And I just don't think they don't give up that easy. The war pimps at the Pentagon and everybody else, they just don't give up that easy.
The war pimps. Yeah, he's right.
Great way to put it. And he's right. Absolutely right.
Yeah, and they're not going to give up that easily. There was a funny clip I wanted to show you from Tim Dillon. Did you hear this one?
I can't remember.
Calling it a fake alien invasion.
Right. He's basically, they're talking about Project Bluebeam.
Yeah, he's hilarious, and it's not like he's not a believer or anything like that. He's been covering politics, I don't know, for a few years now, but he thinks it's a distraction, obviously, and like people are at a point where they don't give a fuck.
Right.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Like, oh, there's aliens. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's really funny.
there is a fake alien invasion, it is probably what Stephen Greer said, where they're just trying to, everybody's going to fall in line quick. But make no mistake, that invasion will not be believable. It will be like watching a bad school play. It will be a horror. And you will watch it and go, I don't believe any of this. I think it's fake. And you'll look at your wife and go, I think it's fake, but they're probably going to put us in camp soon. That's what your wife will say. She'll be smoking a butt because everyone's smoking now. And she'll look at you and go, this is probably fake. And you'll go, yup. And you'll go, but I think they're going to put us in camp soon. I think that's what this is. Because it's going to look like the shitty opening ceremony of the Olympics. That's what it's going to look. If they do a fake alien invasion, it's going to be like Cirque du Soleil because it's going to be so over the top and ridiculous. And just know that if you're watching it, I'll be watching it with you. I'll be watching it from my home. You'll be watching it from yours. Just know that we'll be in camps. Maybe I wouldn't have been in a camp, but I opened my fat mouth and insulted everyone in this fucking administration. But so now I'll be in a camp now too. So just know that we're all going to be in camps if there's a fake alien. If there's no unifying moment and no one believes that there will be. And no, you're not even going to believe the event that puts you in the camp. You will not even believe it. It's going to be so bad. It's going to be B-movie level horror. It's going to be so bad that you're going to go, oh, this is kind of bullshit, huh?
We're all going to be in camps.
It's not that far off. If you criticize a certain government, you can end up arrested and put in jail.
Right.
So if you criticize, the Klaxor, the alien, it might be the same thing, and they'll claim it's under, the guise of keeping the peace or whatever. They do this all the time. Never let a triumph go to waste.
Absolutely, dude. Especially if the economy is going to crash, and that's why we have FEMA camps. It's for stuff like that. In civil war, civil unrest, and if they release this information out at the same time, which is weird. The timing is weird. The economy is going to get worse and worse and worse. And we were talking about this offline. Like, I just see it. Just driving down the street, passing the gas stations. Every single time I pass, it just ticks up and ticks up and ticks up and ticks up. Groceries are just ridiculous. I haven't even gone to rent yet, but I'm sure that's gonna go through the roof.
Yeah, it already was tough. Last couple of years trying to find a place to live. I know that from experience. I can't imagine it's going to get any better because you got to all those open houses get bought up by companies like BlackRock. Never mind. We don't have to go down this whole thing.
Exactly.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You guys get it. I'm angry about stuff. Hopefully you guys have figured that out by now.
Right. And this whole Strait of Hormuz thing and Iran, and we're not backing down. And every day that they keep this up, it's just worse for the entire global economy.
Yep.
So this coming out, of course, is people saying it's a distraction. So on Friday, a couple days ago, the U.S. Department of War, war.gov/UFO.
Weren't they going to put it on aliens.gov? Or does that just redirect you now?
Let's see. Aliens. That's a good point. Whatever happened to that? Maybe that's the aliens. Nope. It's not ready yet.
Huh. Okay. Well, because I could have sworn that's what they said they were going to do, but it doesn't.
Yeah. No, you're right. They were saying that, but it might be part of the time, the time agenda that they have, because these ones that dropped, the website's actually not bad. It's actually designed well, easy to navigate. You can go through every section 10. Why does it start with section 10? I've gone all the way down to here, 130. Each one of these has like hundreds of pages.
Man.
I've taken screenshots. It's really, again, it's educationally, it's amazing. It's cool to see these documents. We will link this in, but like one of them, which is the Twining memo, and
that is Very interesting that got put on here.
Yeah, and because this was always not just rumored. We've had copies of this, but it was never on an official site. It was never on a CIA site, NSA site, FBI site. So to see this officially there, from General, he was the commanding general of our forces, and he wrote this to the president, Air Materiel Command.
Pretty cool. It is the opinion that the phenomenon reported is something real and not visionary or fictitious. There are objects, probably approximating the shape of a disk, of such appreciable size as to appear to be as large as man-made aircraft. There is a possibility that some of the incidents may be caused by natural phenomena, such as meteors. The reported operating characteristics, such as extreme rates of climb, maneuverability, especially in roll, and action, which must be considered evasive when sighted or contacted by friendly aircraft and radar, lend belief to the possibility that some of the objects are controlled either manually, automatically, or remotely. And the apparent common description of the object is as follows: metallic or light reflecting surface.
Very cool, man.
Absence of a trail, talk about exhaust, circular or elliptical in shape, flat on bottom and domed on top. That's your flying saucer shape. Several reports of well-kept formation flights varying from 3 to 9 objects. You want to talk about, what's his name again?
Kenneth Arnold.
Kenneth Arnold, yeah. Normally no associated sound, also just standard UFO stuff these days, except in 3 instances, a substantial rumbling roar was noted. Interesting. Level flight speeds not normally above 300 knots are estimated. Can you give me 1 second? I need to go check on the dog.
Yeah. It is possible within the present U.S. knowledge, provided extensive detailed development is undertaken, to construct a piloted aircraft which has the general description of the object in subparagraph E, above which would be capable of an approximate range of 7,000 miles at subsonic speeds. G, any developments in this country along the lines indicated would be extremely expensive, time-consuming, and at the considerable expense of current projects, and therefore, if directed, should be set up independently of existing projects. There's MJ-12 right there.
Wow.
Yeah, due consideration must be given the following. 1, the possibility that these objects are of domestic origin, the product of some high-security project not known to ACAS-2 or this command. Possible. The lack of physical evidence in the shape of crash-recovered exhibits, which would undeniably prove the existence of these objects. The possibility that some foreign nation has a form of propulsion, possibly nuclear, which is outside of our domestic knowledge. 3, it is recommended that A, headquarters, Army Air Forces issue a directive assigning a priority, security classification, and code name for a detailed study of this matter to include the preparation of complete sets of all available and pertinent data, which will then be made available to the Army, Navy, Atomic Energy Commission, JRDB, the Air Force Scientific Advisory Group, NACA, and the RAND and NEPA projects for comments and recommendations, with a preliminary report to be forwarded within 15 days of receipt of the data and a detailed report thereafter after 30 days as the investigation basic a winning specific directive NF Twining, Lieutenant General USA commanding. So that's basically the start of MJ-12.
Yes. And it shows once again that this phenomenon, the UAP phenomenon, was being taken very seriously.
Yeah,
clear back, decades.
Yeah, and it was very real. So this was September 28th, 1947. No, 23rd. So it was, a couple months after Roswell, a few months after Roswell.
Mm-hmm.
So that's cool. It's in there. There's a lot of Apollo stuff. You sent me this one. The Apollo things are cool. I haven't got to those yet personally. I mean, I've seen stuff online, but I haven't in my reading of files yet got there.
Right. I mean, we've probably touched on the show. I think most UAP guys know about this, but the Apollo astronauts were all seeing crazy stuff, not just on the surface of the moon, but when they were on their way there and on their way back and all this other stuff. And this is just a small tidbit. Actually, if you go back to the comments, they have it.
Yeah, it's clear. It's more clear, right? The comments.
Yeah. So something Aldrin said. He said the first unusual thing that we saw, I guess, was one day out or something pretty close to the moon. It had a sizable dimension to it, so we put the monocular on it. Of course, we were just seeing what our vision picked up going by of the various shapes, and there happened to be 3 brighter spots, and we couldn't think of anything else would be other than the S1VB. We looked at it through the monocular, and it seemed to have a bit of an L shape to it. Armstrong said it was like an open suitcase. And then back to Aldrin. We were in PTC at the time, so each one of us had a chance to take a look at this, and it certainly seemed to be within our vicinity and of a very sizable dimension. So then I got onto the LM and started looking for it in the optics. We were pretty retained because with the sextant set, from what we saw, we appeared to be a cylindrical or really 2 rings. And Armstrong said 2 rings, 2 connected rings. And then Collins closed out. So it looked like a hollow cylinder to me. It didn't look like 2 connected rings. You could see the inner tumbling, and when it came around, then you could look right down its gut. It was a hollow cylinder, but when you could change the focus of the sextant, and it would be replaced by this open book shape. It was really something.
Really cool, man. And the audio also came out, which I thought was already out there, or at least parts of it. It wasn't
maybe. Yeah, actually, I thought it was too. But anyway, it's cool we're getting all this stuff. But yeah, if you guys don't know, the Apollo astronauts saw a bunch of wackadoo stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And Jesse Michaels shared this from a NASA. He's a Japanese NASA historian who knew one of the Apollo 17 astronauts. We'd have to read his translation apparently, but he said that we were warned off the moon. He was friends with astronaut Eugene Cernan, who told him during the mission aliens gave him a message never to return to the moon. That's why they stopped at 17.
How fun.
Yeah, anyway, he says it in Japanese, so not good for audio.
Not good for audio, but all the stuff we talk about on the show is linked in the show notes, so you guys can go and check these out yourselves.
Yeah, and then someone found the whole N7 thing.
Yeah, this was, according to the recently released UFO files, on January 12th, 1994, a Catgirl entity was encountered by U.S. Army Reconnaissance Patrol at the Nevada Test and Training Range. The Catgirl called herself N7, stated she was not of this world, and assured the soldiers she meant no harm. She's described as having gray silver eyes, silver blonde hair, no observable body hair, and cat ears and a tail. If you have ever watched anime in any part in your life, you know exactly what this creature looks like. She was detained for a short time and medically examined, where it was discovered she had no internal reproductive organs.
Damn it!
With ultrasound, blood analysis showing unknown biochemistry, and her DNA did not match any terrestrial being. But oddly enough, she really liked catnip, as it says here. I'm just kidding. N7 was then released back into the desert where they found her, presumably to return to the world of catgirls until humanity can get their act together. The only reason I don't buy this story is because they let the Catgirl go. But I mean,
exactly. Unless it's just protocol. But this
we're more of a dog army. We don't like cats.
Right? Yeah, we the female dogs.
Yeah.
So look, declassified May 8th, 2020. So this is one of the new ones by Director of the President of the United. So Department of War, United States of America. And there it is. I mean, N7, non-human biological entity.
Yeah, entity appears to be bipedal, female form, humanoid with feline characteristics, including external ear appendages and a caudal.
Like, why not? Appendage. Why not?
I assume that's a universe.
Tail. Yeah.
The entity exhibited intelligence, communicated in English, and displayed non-hostile behavior. It was licking its paws. The entity was temporarily detained, medically examined, and then later released at approximately 430 hours.
Is this a joke? Huh. Did he link to it?
Link to what?
Link to the actual file.
Oh, isn't that what I was just reading?
Yeah, but I'm thinking it looks fake. The reason why is because it says Department of War, and if it happened in 1994, we weren't the Department of War.
True.
So, you bastard.
Is this real? This can't. But I mean, if it's whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Exactly. It's fun. All right, people are having fun. Some of the videos that came out. I mean, did you see them? All of them?
All of them? Probably not. I saw a lot of them. The one that stuck out for me, and I think for a lot of people, was the star-shaped UFO.
Yeah.
The one that was flying around, leaving an exhaust trail of some kind. That one was pretty bizarre.
What
is
am I
this
missing?
one now?
Do you see anything here?
No, I don't see anything here. That's why I was asking.
Oh, I just saw it. Okay, that's it. So it could be anything because this thing is flying. See, there it is. It's right there. It comes in from here. I can rewind it.
Yeah, I'm still not seeing it.
There.
Oh, that little thing?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah,
That
these
could've-
videos suck, dude.
Yeah, they're not great. I mean, again, though, it's like you said at the top, if they are doing this to like prep, you got to start small, right?
Right. And whoa.
Looks like a car's headlights.
Exactly. Some eyes all of a sudden showed up. It's like, oh, you're
Yeah.
watching me? Watch. I'm gonna watch you, kind of thing.
So it looks like it was tracking a drone, and then this double light showed up.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Whoa. Yeah. So these are not exactly. These are not the 46 videos that they said, that Luna wanted out. So those
they're not.
are next week.
Okay.
No, this is
So
what
this-
Arrow has released.
Oh, weird. Actually, I heard Arrow was kind of getting sidestepped in this whole thing. I thought you sent me that article, or maybe I just read it online someplace.
Yeah. I mean that they're not going to be in charge of it, but
Yeah.
but they still have data that that they can use.
Oh, of course.
All right, so you followed this for a while. Again, see, it's nothing like
it's
smoking gun.
Right. That's what I was kind of getting at with the alien autopsies at the head of the show. I was saying if that's what we got, then it'd be a big deal. But lights in the sky, cool. And again, I appreciate that it's the government that is releasing this. I think it's a step in the right direction, but it's nothing so far that isn't similar to stuff we've even
Agreed.
played on the show before.
Yeah, none of these things are flying fast, crazy fast. I mean, some are doing crazy maneuvers. Yeah, like that.
As far as I know, none of the videos released are actually show any like craft. You can't make out a
just
shape in
orbs,
anything.
right?
Yeah. Like even the star UFO thing, a lot of people, I don't know. There's a couple explanations that might work. This one was interesting. I thought this guy flying through the windmills.
Yeah.
But again, it is just an orb. There's not an actual craft there. But whatever it is, it's moving very fast and covering a lot of
Interested in
distance.
these things. They're killing birds. I mean, it's probably saying like, what the fuck? Do you really need these ugly things? Like,
I don't think windmills would look that ugly.
Oh, I do. I think they completely ruin the landscape, even and solar panels. They're not even needed with the technologies we have.
No,
it was a complete grift.
Solar panels they should just put over on the outsides of buildings. They don't need to like put them in fields.
Yeah, that would make sense, but not like in the landscape, right? It's just so
right.
ugly.
Yeah, no, that's dumb. Especially like we already have like parking lots or places where people park their cars. Just slap a couple of the solar panels overhead.
It really is interesting in these. There's another video that came out. Wait, before instead of continuing, I want to show you this one. This orb stops the windmills.
Oh,
so there it is right there. It gets close to them.
Poland in 2016, and does it just?
And there they stop.
Oh, weird. That is creepy.
Yeah, probably use some whatever.
Yeah.
Magnet or something.
Neat.
Yeah, and then once it goes by, they starts turning
going
on
again.
again.
Yeah. That's
that
wacky.
Weird?
Yeah.
But it is a lot more orbs, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if we evolve, of course they're going to evolve.
Yeah. And just so everyone knows, I always have to remind myself of this. These are Foo Fighters. This is what orbs used to be called, Foo Fighters.
Yeah. And they are.
And they were seen way back even in World War II. Pilots would see Foo Fighters all the time.
Yeah, and those are in the files. Those are crazy to see. Okay, so what's this thing? So we have something tracking a weird looking device. What the hell is that? A bunch
I don't even know what shape to make out of that.
I was like horseshoes, like 3 horseshoes.
Yeah, maybe. Just weird. Okay.
Or a chain. I don't know.
Yeah,
This
that's
is
it.
Yeah.
Bizarre
Wait,
one.
it's in infrared.
Of course.
So what we're seeing is not, it's whatever's, heated.
Yeah, you might not even be able to see any of this with the naked eye.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, likely you would not see any of this.
You
with
would
the naked
not.
eye.
Exactly. We don't see an infrared. Exactly. Does it take off? So that's the thing. Is like none of these things take off. If they just took off or did something really weird.
Yeah, I want to see some actual movement here. But again, baby's first UFO videos. That's what we're looking at here.
That's exactly what it is. Yes. Yeah.
That's a fun one.
This is UFO Disclosure 101.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
This is probably even like level 99. This is before you even take your first class.
Oh yeah, exactly. This is the AP course.
Sure.
Here's another one. Look at all these tracking things we have.
So interesting.
And they cover up so much so our enemies don't see what we can do.
Yeah.
So it caught something, it looks like. This looks like an automatic system.
Yeah, it does a little bit, right? Like it's just tracking whatever's moving through the sky. Mm-hmm.
And again, very small, just lights.
Yeah. Nothing
really
too
anything.
crazy. You don't happen to have the star UFO.
Yeah, it will come up, I'm sure.
Okay.
Where was this? Department of Air Force, 58 seconds. This is over
Middle East. 2020, I think it said. Oh my God, that UFO looks just like a ship.
Whoa! Yeah, it's a Star Destroyer. All right. When does it show up? I'm probably going to miss it. Oh, there it is. Let's go back. So it probably crossed. Yeah, it looks like it crossed, and then he's following it. Again, tiny orb-looking thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, nothing too wild here.
I mean, if I was a camera operator, I'd follow it too. It doesn't look like anything crazy.
To be fair, though, that probably is their job. Look out for any kind of bogeys in the area. Cool.
Yep, let's move on. Wait, let's turn you off. Is this another stupid one? Same one.
Something similar. I mean, at the end of the day, they're all just orbs.
Not clear, exactly.
Orbs from an IR camera.
People have showed also that star one was probably an artifact, right? But
yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff. Artifact seems like it's most likely. I know a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's a missile flying straight at the camera." Like, no, it's not. These are people who have worked in the military, and know what missiles look like. If they're put this on a shelf to be examined later, it's not because they were looking at a missile.
And Arrow wouldn't say it's unresolved.
Right.
Right. This is a cool one too. Another orb. Is this? This is the one I think Corbell released, the one that took off. A small thermal signature. Yeah, these are all very similar. It's orbs, basically. Now, if they evolved along with us, you'd think they'll develop these things that are less intrusive. Yeah.
But I mean, I can't remember which of the UAP. Here we go.
Whoa. Okay, that's not an artifact. If they started zoomed out like that and then zoomed in, that's not a camera thing.
I don't know. It's very bizarre footage. We actually have I think we played on the show before, but that there was a star UFO following someone around not too long ago that was on film.
That was very similar to this.
Yeah. But you can see you could see how it does look a little bit like something flying directly at the camera.
Yeah, and you can
Like
see
if
the
you
trails.
imagine,
There's trails.
yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. It has some sort of
Yeah.
exhaust.
Yeah.
No idea what that possibly could mean or be, because as we know from UAP craft, they typically don't leave any kind of exhaust trail. So
Right.
This is very interesting.
It could be something that the IR is picking up, though. Like it's just a heat signature instead of like vapor trails. You know what I mean?
Right. So who knows what this is? I think out of the bunch, this one I find the most interesting.
What the hell is that? What's this? Oh,
it's more than just a light in the sky. It's something that can't be explained.
wait, do you see? Was that a flying carpet? Like what the hell is that? This thing right here. Watch.
Yeah, no, I see what you're looking at. I think it's yeah.
I mean, again, we're talking about temperature here because it's IR.
Yeah.
Weird.
Anyway, really cool footage. I'm glad the government's doing this, but I need more.
Yeah.
Give me something real. Give me something substantial.
So they are promising us that. There's something just flyby. There we go. Another flyby. Another flyby. That could be even like a torpedo. Who knows? I can't tell if that's above water or underwater.
Yeah, no, I think it's an orb flying by. It's curious as to why they're so interested in stuff like this.
And look at all this telemetry that's been blocked out.
Mm-mm.
All right, so what's this one? And what kind of? Why are we looking at this barge thing? Oh, he's following it. I don't see anything though.
I don't either.
Do you see something? No.
Nope.
Oh, okay. Right here.
There it is.
Whoa. Man, these camera operators, can't you keep it in the middle?
I don't know. I imagine it's pretty tough.
They all look so similar, these things.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least we know, we can confirm that there is something in the night sky.
Yeah.
Or just the sky in general. I mean, very, very cool. I'm looking forward to seeing what is released next.
Me too. What's this? UAP Greece. This is October 2023. Again, an orb.
Yeah.
Something that our eyes can't see, right?
Yeah. I just want to see a craft.
I want to see a flying disc, a saucer. It sucks. It went from flying saucers to flying discs to UFOs to UAPs to orbs.
Mm-hmm. Surely they'll release more than just orbs. If next week's drop is all orbs, and I'll probably check out.
This is a jellyfish, and
look at that one.
Yeah, there it is. Is this the one Corbell was talking about that just took off to the ocean? So weird, like it's an antenna or something gathering
Who knows?
Yeah. I love how our systems are just trying to lock onto it.
Yeah.
But it can't. Like it's locking on, but not really. The guy, you can tell he's still using manual movement.
Mm-hmm.
So it catches on and then it doesn't.
Wonder if that's because the craft is like made of something that can't be locked onto properly, or if it's just too small.
Who knows? I think if it was something natural, we'd be able to lock onto it.
Right.
But if it's technological, it could block frequencies they were using to lock onto it.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be my guess.
Yeah. Or like you said, yeah, it's some material that reflects it. Oh yeah, people are sharing this one, but I don't. Oh, now I see it. Okay, they have a triangle. That's it? 6 seconds?
Yeah, what?
Come on, guys. Oh, this one, the orange blob. What do you think this is?
Whoa. I don't know.
And it moved. It went from here to here to whatever this thing is.
Or it was just flying through the area and got caught.
Yeah.
I don't know why it'd be a shape like that, though, unless it's just some sort of camera error. It's moving at a speed or, can't be picked up properly.
Why is in Syria, October 2024, United States Central Command give it.
I mean, that one could just looks like a camera glitch almost. You know what I mean? Like there's not a whole lot to it.
Yeah, but why would they put that up as unresolved? It'll be like, all right, that's
because
bullshit.
it's the government. You throw a bunch of shit, in with the good stuff, and there you go.
And this one's another one. So apparently it was 20 videos. I don't see anything yet.
I thought I saw something right at the beginning.
Oh, right there.
Yeah. But that, I don't know what the
What the fuck is that? I know, right? But
that's nothing.
It's still weird because it's flashing. But yeah, right. It could be anything.
Yeah. See, this is what I mean. I need more than that. More than that.
Absolutely, dude. All right. There's another orb. There was one
That actually looks like it's. Yeah, it looks like it's the jellyfish again.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a jellyfish.
I must go. My people need me.
Exactly. I'm being called back to headquarters.
Yeah.
Is in the UAE. We're in the UAE. It looks like it's Fujairah or something.
Yeah, I don't know a single thing about that area other than Dubai. So
I saw UFOs there with my wife's family. We all saw it together out in the balcony.
I think you told me about that.
Yeah.
Maybe not on the show, but
it was definitely weird because when I went out to the balcony, I was having a cigarette. I'm like, oh, they're building a new skyscraper out there. We're looking out the water because it looked like it was in a formation like a square. So I thought there were lights of a new skyscraper being built. And then I'm like, wait a minute, that's out in the water. I'm like, and then I called my wife. I'm like, do you see that? And then she called her parents. Once we're all out there, each light point left slowly by itself, no sound, nothing, just went.
So cool.
Yeah, man. It was before drones were big. They could have been drones, but
Right.
no, because it felt like it was a structure. Like, do you know what I mean? But then
Yeah, I do.
it turned out it was just points of light. So
it sounds very similar to the Penturk UFO, where it was a giant pyramid, but you only got to see the edges of it, and it faded in, it materialized in one light at a time.
yeah, so that is something that happened. Oh, this one kind of has structure. Look at that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like a V. Again, very tiny.
Yeah.
And who knows, like, if this thing's going really fast or not.
Yeah, impossible to tell from this kind of camera work.
Yeah.
Anyway, cool.
Kirkpatrick says there's nothing to it, guys.
Yeah, and we all know Kirkpatrick definitely, he's never lied and he always tells the truth.
He's such a scumbag.
Yeah.
Anything this one? No. All right, we're almost at the end here. This is number 22. Again, doesn't show.
Was that it? Just zoomed up through the
top one
right corner?
The top right, that one, right?
I think that's what that was, right?
I'm gonna pause. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That could have been a missile though. Like or
it could have been a bird. It could have been a lot of things.
Yeah.
I mean, unresolved doesn't necessarily mean it's an alien.
Right. We don't know what it is.
You might even call it some sort of unidentified flying object.
Right. All right. So that's all. Those are the videos they gave us. There's a really cool website called showmeufos.com.
Oh, I haven't heard of that.
Yeah. And you can
Use
go
all
to
the links. Oh, cool.
Yeah. And then the PDFs is 131 of them. So you can go through every single one of them. Images. Let's see the images actually. FBI photo. Oh, it's glitching. Image, video, image. Oh yeah, the NASA images.
Yeah, the NASA ones are pretty cool. Again, it's stuff that we've known about for a while, but maybe the mainstream audience has never heard or seen these photos.
Exactly.
But I could have sworn these were either leaked or released already. So,
oh yeah, for sure they have. These are not new. The audio recordings are new. I thought I had that queued up. Oh damn, we're almost at 2 hours. All right, so we just have a few more things here. Burleson is saying that if they don't release what he has seen, like videos, he's gonna release them.
Yeah, good.
And basically because Trump already authorized it, and the president is the one that can release information, that can declassify information by just willing it.
Right.
Apparently.
Joins me now. Congressman, thanks
Whoa,
for being.
he's looking old.
Yeah, he's definitely gotten a little bit older in the last couple of years, huh?
He's under some stress, man. Look at his face.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, I'm glad he's fighting for this, and
Me
he's
too.
Right. He's out there. He's visiting the sites. He's a cool dude.
With us here today. You and I, Congressman, I think we've had a very candid conversation together. We have both talked about the fact that I am open and curious about this subject of UAPs. But I do feel like we're at a place.
Direction.
Yeah. Here, let me speed it up a bit.
It's where evidence needs to start meeting expectations. What we've seen today, what does this tell us? Does this meet any expectation?
No.
Look, I think that we have to take a step back and recognize the historic nature of this. Every president prior to President Trump has really demurred any kind of questions on this. They've dismissed them. They would not talk about it. People would, if anything, snicker or sneer anytime this kind of subject came up. So the fact that we have a president who is open and willing and trying to be transparent is something to celebrate. That being said, I think that this is a teaser. This is a kind of a, something to open up with. This was the low-hanging fruit kind of videos and content for this administration to release.
Okay.
A lot of this some of this has been out there before. It's not been acknowledged, right?
Okay.
So you're looking at the
Congressman,
Apollo 17 video. Yeah.
I've seen the same thing said by Congressman Tim Burchett, that this is sort of the beginning, and there will be other releases that could leave Americans with a holy crap moment. I believe that's a direct quote from Congressman Tim Burchett. My question for you or the congressman would be, why? Why slow roll this out like it's a season of Game of Thrones? Like, why would episode 1 be somewhat uninspiring, leave us with more questions than answered, if there's something coming after the teaser? What's the point in staging the release?
So again, this just from talking with the White House and this administration, this is not an easy thing to do. There's not one huge repository of all of these documents and videos and photos. Despite what most people believe, they're really, at least we haven't found that one, big repository. So what the agency is doing is going and finding first and foremost the items that are readily available to be released, and they want to move quickly and release those. I would ask you, would you prefer to have them wait for years? What would probably take years if they were to do a comprehensive study and then release it all at once in one big batch? I would prefer that they release it as they find it, and I think that's this administration wants to be transparent and do that.
My criticism is not for the decisions of the administration. My criticism is for the expectation built by many out there that have these conversations that there will soon be a bomb to drop when it comes to revelations about aliens. And if that's true, are we trying to prepare the American people with a slow drip, drip, drip tease of this stuff? If not, then, Congressman, I would say, if this is all we've got, then I'm not sure that there's anything that the American government really has that tells us anything about the existence of aliens. I'm just beginning to feel like this entire story is teased out always just beyond our reach.
I can sense your frustration. I've experienced it personally myself. I've seen videos that I think are in the process of being declassified, so I think that there is more to come. If they're not going to be declassified, I'll probably do an effort to release them myself under speech and debate. But again, a lot of the footage that I've seen is similar to what has been released today. There's some that are pretty interesting, and especially given the environment and the circumstances of the videos, whether they are videos of UAPs that are flying around Russian submarines, or a video of our aircraft that are firing on some of these UAPs. I've seen those kind of videos, and so I'm teasing that because I know that I'm telling the administration through you at this moment that if they don't release those, then I have the capabilities of getting those videos and releasing them.
Can I ask you one more thing about this, Congressman? I expect you and I will have much longer conversations like we have in the past, where we have fewer time constraints. But what I'm seeing here, and we're sharing today, and what's been released, there are probably hundreds, perhaps thousands of explanations for what we see on these video screens. They don't lead us directly to extraterrestrial or out of this world explanations. Is there something else? Is there some other proof that you've seen? Is there a more compelling video that can't be described or explained as a drone or a light refraction or any other thing? Again, I'm not cynically dismissing these things. As I've always mentioned to you, I'm open and curious. I just don't think the evidence is meeting the moment.
I think you and I are at the exact same place. I continue to look for these things and try to follow the narrative that people are saying, follow the historical narrative that we have a crash retrieval program. And this is the kind of information that I keep getting presented. It doesn't mean that we don't stop looking. And so the White House and the ODNI is looking for the next places to go investigate. And I think that, and they've actually been open and asking me where those next places should be. And so we're going to be working to offer those locations. A lot of this is going to be in the hands of these agencies that are quasi-private or private companies. And that's going to be a harder dig for this administration to do, but that's where I think we're going to get to the truth.
To his defense, the president hasn't made big promises about what this would reveal. I don't think I can say that about everyone who purports to have seen something, that there are big revelations. And so far, the evidence in the videos haven't met the promises. I do hope we continue to see more.
Yeah, but it looks like also, yeah, go ahead.
Well, after that interview, now I'm back to having very little hope that we're going to see much of anything.
Yeah, and then listen to Grush here. He's saying that he's worried that, well, he knows that the president's efforts are being blocked from the CIA, NSA, those agencies.
What you're saying is we are on the cusp of getting a lot more details that deal with actual alien beings, however you're going to describe them.
That's certainly up to the president's team, and I certainly support them, but it has come to my attention actually recently, as of today, there are some actors within certain intelligence agencies, to include DIA and CIA specifically, that are actually blocking some of the president's presidentially appointed team and getting access and getting control on some of these historical records. So I really expect the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, Bradley Hansel, to take care of that, as some of that's under his cognizance, especially on the national program side, which is directly under his organization, to reveal some of the historical National Security Council records on this.
What you're saying is...
So not surprising there that the CIA is blocking some of this stuff. And, it's good they have someone like Grush there to call this out, and he's working with the administration, and he knows who can force the CIA and DIA and NSA to release the real meat, instead of just like what the Fox News host said, that come on, it's just promises and it's coming soon. It's the same shit, right? Stringing along.
Yeah, it really is. And again, it's a very valid point brought up by I think his name was Will, the interviewer. There's all these people coming out saying, oh, it's going to blow your mind. You're not ready for this stuff. And so what are we doing here? You just gave us a bunch of videos of some orbs in the sky. How is that blowing my mind? How is that even teasing the fact that it's blowing my mind? It's not.
Right. Exactly.
And Burleson was going like, there's more videos like this coming. Like, I don't care about videos like this coming. I mean, you and I have
4K satellite videos, right?
You and I have presented more evidence that there are, otherworldly beings in our atmosphere flying around than these videos ever showed.
Yeah. Very true. Very true.
And he's going like, oh, they got to find him, and it's not just like an archive you can dig out of. And bullshit. That's so not true. I get all of these things came from a vault someplace where they were sitting around there. That's how they got them in the first place.
Yeah. There's definitely a UFO file. Yes.
They're sitting on hard drives throughout the Pentagon. I'm sure of it.
All right. Well, I guess to leave us with some hope, here's a final clip from News Nation. hopium works. It always works. It's worked thousands of years.
before this video even starts, here's the headline, right? Gallaudet says the U.S. has recovered spacecraft. That's what I want to see in the UFO files. I want to see pictures of that thing in the hangar. I want to get a virtual tour of the inside. I don't care about orbs in the night sky.
We want 4K videos. We want HD pictures. We want biologics. Right?
Yeah, all the stuff that all the stuff they've said they've had, that's what I want to see, not unknown lights in the sky. That's nothing.
I mean, and to be fair, and we've said this before, is that we're at a different stage, you and I, right? We've been looking at this for decades or whatever, how long we've been researching this. And just in this podcast alone, it's been more than 3 years. Every single week, historical and updates and just so much information and so much research that we're ready for the real shit. What's been recovered? Who has been piloting these crafts? Where are they from? What do they want? That's what we want from these.
Exactly.
But not everyone is where we're at. We have to respect that, and I guess when you're a government, you are talking to everybody.
Yeah, but it feels like at this point we're doing No Child Left Behind, the UFO version. If you don't care about UFOs and UAPs, fine, but that's on you. Like the rest of us who've been researching this for, like you said, decades. I mean, so what? We got to wait for the people who don't care to catch up.
Right? Yeah. So apparently next week we got the 46 videos.
President Trump will likely be facing more questions about some of what these files have released. And there is more coming out next week. 46 more declassified UAP videos that the House Oversight Committee requested. Those are coming out next week, and they are likely to be the most revealing so far, Alex. President Trump.
All right. So there we go. We're left with some hopium, everybody.
Yeah. That's all we can do these days is hope.
Yeah. So after all that, I mean, we had the Christian community get ahead of this and start talking to their followers about I mean, they were obviously contacted by the administration. I don't think that was a hoax or some different agenda, and they prepared for it. A couple days later, these dropped. Wasn't anything crazy. I think the Twining memo is really cool. The Apollo stuff is really cool.
Yeah,
some of those videos, are cool, but nothing as a smoking gun.
Yeah, there's no no evidence of demons invading our reality. That's for sure.
Right, exactly. So I guess we could say this is UFO disclosure 101, or you said 99 even.
Baby's first UFO disclosure.
Babies first. Yeah. So we'll see next week. I mean, this happened on Friday. I'm assuming every Friday they'll release new information.
I hope that's how it works. It leaves us with a lot of cool stuff,
a lot of content,
and a lot of content. Yeah,
exactly. So, yeah, I mean, we're here. We're finally here, where the government's actually, officially saying they are going to be releasing information on UFOs, UAPs, and aliens. If it was someone like Kirkpatrick in charge, you could be like, we're releasing information that shows no proof of aliens.
Yeah,
or anything in our skies. So I think it's a great effort. Trump is a flawed human being with I've loved and hate the guy off and on, but when it comes to stuff like this, and who else would do it? No one. No one else would have done this, seriously. So I am thankful for that. I commend the administration for this effort, and I hope that they really try to give us final proof of the existence, of whatever NHI and a reverse engineering program. Is it going to happen? I don't know.
We just need his inner circle to be whispering in his ear, pushing the ego angle for releasing these files. Trump, if you really want to get to be the best known president ever, release the UFO files.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's very similar to what they did with him with Iran. Israel's also telling him, if you want to be like this savior or a very very historic figure within the Jewish community and and Israel, and that you would go after Iran. And it probably worked. And they do say that, like, they have coins minted with Trump on there in Israel. Like the Third Temple Institute or something has coins with Trump on there, and Cyrus, who's an Iranian or a Persian emperor that brought back the Jews to Jerusalem to build the Second Temple. So they're trying to tell him that he's like Cyrus the Great, and and they'll put him in the history book. So this stuff works on the guy. He wants to be a historical figure,
right? And it never backfires.
Yeah. Right, never.
So we want to thank all of you for listening to the Uncovering Anomalies podcast, episode 163. We really enjoy having you swing by to give us a listen. Feel free to leave a comment, let us know how we're doing, or if you dislike the show structure or want to see something added, or hell, if you've even got an event that we haven't covered or talked about that you'd like us to, just drop us a line, let us know.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of giving us just a thumbs down, give us a thumbs down and a comment.
Let us know.
Yeah, I've recently seen some thumbs down on some YouTube videos. All right, let me know what's the thumbs down about. Is it the topic? Is it the way we present the information? Is it whatever it is? We're open to hear it. So we enjoy investigating this. So we've been doing this for a long time. Very knowledgeable about it. We've been ahead of many other podcasts, by the way, who just joined in on this gravy train. I wouldn't call it a gravy train. We make no money.
I was gonna say I don't know what kind of gravy they're making, because that train never left the station for us.
Right. But follow us on X. We're at UAP the podcast, and I'm at Breakaway Civil, and Topher is at Topher it all. We are active as much as we can on there. But yeah, like Topher said, send us information. What you guys would like to see. Who would you like to be on the show? We are trying to get some interviews going, but if you want us, if there's any unknown researchers out there you'd like us to interview, we're definitely open to that.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we'll see you all next week, and thank you for listening.
All right.
Day by day, night by night, where do I stand? Where do I fight? The conspiracy has taken me, and now I'm fighting relentlessly. What's the truth and what's the lie? Will we forever fight and die? We uncover truths and tell you what's the news, what they won't tell you. It's Adam and Topher, we come in peace. Our hunt for the truth will never cease. It's the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. We tell you the UFO news at last. Forgive us for being brief, but the truth never sleeps. Day by day, night by night, where do I stand? Where do I fight? The conspiracy is taking me, and now I'm fighting relentlessly. What's the truth and what's the lie? Will we forever fight and die? We uncover truths and tell you what's the news, what they won't tell you. It's Adam and Topher, we come in peace. Our hunt for the truth will never cease. It's the Uncovering Anomalies podcast. We tell you the UFO news at last. Forgive us for being brief, but the truth never sleeps.